to Birch Living for sponsoring this video. More on them in a bit. We have a busy day ahead of us, but I love spending time in the morning, just a little bit of extra effort to make the house look beautiful and pleasing to our eyes. I was listening to a podcast or a YouTube video, something recently on design, because I love stuff like that. And someone was saying how silly it is that we keep a ton of pillows on our beds, because then every single day you have to put them back. I thought about that for a little bit, and I must respectfully disagree. To me, when I look into my room, which it's located very central to the house, and I see something so beautiful or pleasing to me, is worth any 30 seconds extra attention that I give it. Last night when I was stacking up kids' books and organizing them by category, I had a quick thought of, why am I even doing this? The toddlers are going to look at these little books again tomorrow and obviously take them and move them again. But I wanted to kick up my feet with my husband in a tidy room with the pillows on the right chairs and throw blankets neatly available. My effort is worth it for moments like that. And the satisfaction of seeing a room in the way I intended it when I designed it originally for a few hours each day is reason enough to spend some effort picking up and making my home beautiful. Now, does that mean that that happens every single day? No. But on days where that works out, I really appreciate my efforts. Now, in the kitchen, I am placing some colorful eggs into the baskets. My kids bring them in from the coops in egg cartons, and to me, eggs are a color of the season. Even if it costs more money to buy organic feed or, put up a coop, in some ways having chickens doesn't actually save very much money. Having a beautiful, I'm gonna call it bouquet of eggs all throughout the spring, summer, and fall is worth it enough to me, and I love to keep them on display. The chickens are starting to slow down a bit on their production because of the light, and so I know soon I won't get to enjoy these beautiful colors anymore. I'm also taking some of the fall decor like pumpkins down because I'm soon going to be adding in some Christmas touches, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Taking a break from my homemaking, my tidying, cleaning, cooking, all of that good stuff, to tell you about a product that we really love in our own home, Birch Living mattresses, which also happen to be the sponsor of today's video. If you've been following along a while, you've already heard of them. But Birch is a premium mattress in a box company that has natural, non-toxic, organic. We spend a large portion of our lives sleeping, especially little kids. They sleep a ton. So it makes sense to have a mattress that's not only comfortable, but that we feel good sleeping on because it's not off-gassing toxic things from manufacturing. That's why I started choosing organic in the mattress department many years ago. And for over a year now, we've been loving Birch because it's so comfortable and made right here in the USA. High quality ingredients that I know are good for us. We can sleep easy knowing that we're avoiding harmful off-gassing that can happen in the manufacturing process. And unlike synthetic mattresses, the wool in these mattresses make it hypoallergenic, so they're both allergen and mildew resistant. Birch mattresses are GOTS certified, which means that they're independently verified to be organic, free of harmful chemicals, and ethically produced from beginning to end. And they're also fair trade certified. We have both types of Birch mattresses. In the kids' room, I have the standard Birch mattresses, but then in the cottage, the queen size mattress I have is the Birch Luxe, which is a premium upgrade with organic cashmere, a high quality comfort design, and naturally breathable layers, which is so comfortable. With Birch, you get a 100-night sleep trial plus a 25-year warranty. This is important because when you're buying something online, it can be a little bit scary when you can't actually try it first. With the 100-night sleep trial, you can buy with confidence knowing that you will love your mattress. And then there's also that 25-year warranty, which means that you will love it for many years to come. The mattresses do also come with 2 free pillows, so all of this comfort delivered right to you. Birch is offering Farmhouse on Boone viewers $400 off your first purchase by using my link, birchliving.com/farmhouse. It'll also be linked in the description box below. And I am going to do a few tasks that I've been putting off for a while just because I haven't felt like I've had the time. but I've carved out a little bit of time this afternoon. It is that time of year where I'm starting to think about things like where I'm gonna put the Christmas tree and garlands. This year, we are dealing with a whole new setup for our living room. We moved some things around, and then also I moved around things here in the living room. I added some new furniture pieces, and so the tree can't go in the same spot that it went last year, but I think I have a good solution. I have been wanting to redo our entryway, and I have grand plans of all of these things I want to do to it. But since it's difficult to find long periods of time to do a before and after, I've just been doing small things over time. So painted the front door and the trim around it. Got a new antique rug. A couple years ago, I guess it's already been a year and a half maybe, we put in a wood stove and a hearth pad. We have plans to add in some shelves. So I'm just taking it one by one. One of the things that I want to do is create a little entryway table. Now, I don't have the absolute perfect piece for that, but I do have here in the corner of our living room a piece that I picked up a few months ago at an antique shop for like 40 bucks, I think. It was somewhere around there. That is in the spot where I plan to put the Christmas tree. And so I thought I could move that over into the entryway. And then I also have plans to redo some of the art and the pictures. So I'm gonna do that as well. Probably not all today, but probably all of this video. I'll try to get it all in this video. And I picked up a couple of lamps, and I've been wanting so badly to make pleated lampshades. So this is gonna be the first time I'm trying that. So I'm going to move this little piece into the entryway, take some lamps that I found on Amazon and make them fancy. So come along with me as I do another step in the transformation of our entryway. Few fabric options that I've pulled from my stash. I have this gingham, which I think would be beautiful, a block print, which I used for Theo's crib curtains, and then another piece of fabric that I picked up that I was planning to make a dress for me. I had this moment of ambition where I was going to sew all of my summer clothes, and I did not get around to it, but I think it'll be the perfect fabric for these pleated lampshades. Now I'm starting by cutting out strips that are about 3 inches wide and the length of the lampshade. Next, I am pressing each of the raw, long edges in, so it's sort of like making bias tape, but without that final fold. hot gluing them on around the top and the bottom, leaving about a ½ inch from the top and the bottom of the lampshade so I can put on that finishing touch, and overlapping them about halfway so that they halfway overlap all the way around, which means that you need an awful lot of strips, but it does give it that pleated look. I thought about just actually pleating it by sewing it, but since my lamp has a bit of a taper, I was worried that I would get off a little bit by not making the top as pleated as I needed it to accommodate for the wider bottom. Now, if you are using a lampshade that is the same width on the top and the bottom, it'd be a little bit easier to just pleat it by hand, but honestly, this way works so easy and is so straightforward that you don't really need to be an expert seamstress in order to make it look really nice, which I like because it's very forgiving. You can just put them on, overlap them. Now, because it was a bit of a tapered situation, I had to overlap them a bit more at the top than the bottom, and sometimes I'd start to get off a little bit and I noticed that the strips, instead of being straight down, were a bit slanted, and that just was because I wasn't overlapping them more at the top than the bottom. But as soon as you notice it, just visually, you can correct that by overlapping the top a little bit more. In the end, it ends up looking fine, even if it's not 100% perfect. I really enjoyed the process of this. Next, I am cutting a 3-inch wide strip in order to make a very long strip that I'm going to sew and cover up the raw edges of the top and the bottom. So I'm just folding and ironing over just like before, only this time actually folding in half to hide all of those raw edges inside. And then I'm just going to sew it all the way down the long side and hot glue it on, repeat for the top and the bottom to create a nice finished look. It is amazing to me what a little bit of effort and shopping the house will do for a space. So I've been putting off forever doing a little entryway here, and all I really had to do was borrow something from the living room, get a couple lamps, maybe add a little DIY touch, rearrange the living room a bit just to accommodate for that piece missing. But once it's gone, I actually think the living room looks a lot better without it. And now I have a place that I can put the Christmas tree here in a couple weeks. I've had these two pictures hanging for years, actually 4 years, since we moved here, of my little son Micah. And not that those aren't the sweetest pictures ever, but it's time to swap things out just because we've been looking at the same thing for so long, and I feel like there's a better place for these frames than right in the entryway. I want that to be more of a decorative type of space. I'm gonna add some Christmas decor there shortly, but I have a plan for these frames and some new photos to add in. Now first, I'm going in with a little bit of rub and buff just because I feel like these frames would look a lot better in more of a gold color. It's just more my style and for this home. If you haven't used rub and buff, it's really simple. It takes minutes to transform frames. I will leave a link below for the color that I used here. Because we live in a home built in the 1860s, we are lacking for lights and outlets in certain spaces in our home. And yes, we could wire them, but I'm going to use a really quick solution in a very dark corner that I'm going to put these frames in this battery powered art light. Now it came really gold. It's plastic, which isn't the ideal situation when you're using rub and buff, but after a few layers, it really did change the color to being more of an antique brass type of color as opposed to bright gold. We're in this vicinity, and we'll put the art lights above it.
Okay.
I'm almost thinking about it being centered if this came out to here, because we're
probably maybe that's what you should center it on anyways, just because
it looks nice because you come out of the bathroom. Otherwise, it's it's just right here. So obviously, it's not super particular. You can kind of just hang one there-ish, and then
alright, let's get it above this.
Yeah. Whoa! Right into my floor.
Hardwood foul. Who
is that little boy?
Me.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Only a drill in
Adding my own creative touches, sprucing things up with paint, fabric, and some effort never gets old here for me. I love this quote on homemaking from Edith Schaefer. If you've been afraid that your love of beautiful flowers and the flickering flame of the candle is somehow less spiritual than living in starkness and ugliness, remember that He who created you to be creative gave you the things with which to make beauty and the sensitivity to appreciate and respond to His creation. Such a beautiful quote, and perfectly explains the homemaker's love for creating a comfortable, warm environment. I hope that you enjoyed watching me do a little homemaking and a mini makeover of this space in our home, ready to light many fires and enjoy it. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you are brand new, please hit that subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by our farmhouse.